Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Oh man. Welcome to See You Next Tuesday. Some vibrato for your Tuesday.
Wow, Megan, have you been watching Glee?
Literally never. Not fucking ever. You know what my TikTok wants me to watch though? That algorithm. Good God. They catch you in those fucking stupid goddamn medical shows. Chicago Med is literally my entire For You page because I watched one clip going, what the fuck is like it was
it the one with the racist
shit.
lady?
Which one?
For Chicago Med.
Many clips. Like the actor is racist or it's like a racist scene?
The character is racist. They're like, I don't want to be treated by the woman. It's an old lady. And in so many words, she says that she doesn't want to be treated by a black doctor. And then was like, I want to be treated by the Chinese doctor. And and then later in the scene, whatever it is that she has, it's something that's not really found in white people. So they had to run the test again. And then black doctor comes in and it's like, and they read the results and she's like, okay, my sister. And then pounds her and the lady's like, and the white lady is like, clip. Yes. That's clip. The only clip that I've seen.
Melissa, I wish that was the clip that got me into it because I would be like, I think I would be seeing much better clips of this show. Because I think the one that I saw was like some like pregnant mom who was like, don't give the baby any, like no ultrasounds, like I'm doing a free birth kind of thing. Like, no, like no medical intervention. And they were like, something's wrong. Like, you know, you're going to have to deliver this baby and you're only 6 months pregnant. And she's like, but I'm only 3 months pregnant. And like, I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, okay, how many kids have you had? Because if you've had like a lot and like, you know, you pop quicker, but if this is your first child, I've never even had a kid, but like, you cannot tell me you think that, no, you're clearly not 3 months along, like very clearly.
Was she hiding who the father was?
No, he was there. They cast these like, I don't know why they keep, and I know that being an anti-vaxxer doesn't have a specific look, but they do cast the look for the women spot on. The men, I'm just like, who are these men? Like, they're just these just random looking guy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just so odd. So I saw that, and then there was ones of, I don't know, but Melissa, I realized that I had gotten too deep in it because guess what started popping up?
What?
Grey's Anatomy clips. And I was like, fucking no.
I don't
like,
even get Grey's Anatomy clips.
No, I'm like, I've been watching too many of these stupid Chicago because they get you in where it's like, oh, like this is like, I'm not
It's
feeling
your
well.
fault. You're interacting. You're watching the
I
whole
know,
clip and then
but
liking
because they're
them.
these crazy shit, I don't like any of them. I don't like any of them. But what
Well, you're
happens,
watching them though.
this one woman, which I was like, of course I'm gonna keep watching, where they were like, okay, I think she's drunk, like she's definitely like an alcoholic, and like she's just in deep denial, and so is her husband. No, turns out her body is like this overgrowth
There's
of like
always a
yeast
twitch.
something, and so then like anytime she eats anything that has carbs in it, it makes her drunk, and I'm like,
That's a
off my For
storyline
You
on
page.
General Hospital, but it was like night shift. General Hospital night shift.
General Hospital After Dark.
It was.
They need to collaborate with Build-A-Bear.
I liked it because it revolved around my favorite character, so it was a treat for me. But yeah, what else is flooding your timelines, or are you watching?
The rest that's flooding my timelines has been what was it, the other one that was? Oh, I was gonna tell you it. It was fucking Vanderpump Rules shit.
Did you watch the finale?
Yes, I did. And so Mons came home and like he was like, I forget what he was like out with, I think he was out with like one of his friends. Like they were like oh no, he was that the night. Maybe it wasn't. But the Nuggets were playing the Lakers, and one of his friends like knew he was obviously a Nuggets fan, Denver, got him tickets, so he got to go to the game. And I think it might have been that night. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. But he came home and he was like, in my head, I was like, he's gonna be so shocked that I'm watching TV when he's not, because like I don't watch TV when he's not here. And he like walks through the door and literally was like just like tilting his neck, going, "What are you doing?" And I was like, watching Vanderpump Rules. Like I know, like I didn't, like, I just watched it, and then I was telling him about it, and he goes like, put it back on. So I literally watched the episode twice back to back because he was invested. And then I'll like see the clips and I'm like, oh, I'll save that for later. I'll watch it later. And he goes, no, play it. Like, I'm curious. Like he's fucking intrigued. And so most of my For You page has been like partners, specifically like cishet men who are like, I don't know, there's something about this show that is like intriguing. So it's been mostly that. So to hold us off before we get the new episode of the reunion, we watched The Night Agent on Netflix, and I loved it. It was very good.
My friend Ashley is a associate producer on it, I believe. She worked on Mr. Student Vice President. I know you had contact with her, but you probably don't remember. But yeah.
Well, I looked it up because the main guy, I was like, do you look like every guy I went to high school with, or do I know you? And so I looked at his IMDb, and that was one of our shared connections. But I just, based on what the roles he's played and his age range, I was like, oh, I've definitely just like sat in casting offices for hours on end with you while we're both waiting to read for the same projects for different roles. I think. Or maybe I have met him before. I don't know. But it was good.
It's good. Yeah, it's getting a lot of rave reviews and stuff. Speaking of nuggets, since you talked about the Denver Nuggets, I got those nuggets from Sprouts that you said taste like McDonald's. Here's the thing. I air fried them and they tasted good. But I think if you put them in oil, they would taste like the McDonald's ones.
Okay, so after I told you that, I was making them again, and I was like, I should update Melissa of why I think this is happening. Is because when I would make them, we would have like sausage in the morning, and there would be like leftover oil at the bottom, and I would be like, I'm just gonna cook the chicken nuggets like 4 hours later in the same. So there's oil at the bottom, but it's not touching it. And I was like, I think that has to be something that has to do with it.
Yeah, they're good though. They're good.
They are.
I got the nuggets and the tenders.
Are you a tender or a nugget?
I'm more of a nugget. But if I'm like at like a Applebee's type restaurant, but not an Applebee's because I haven't stepped foot in one of those in years, but you know, an American establishment.
Yeah.
I love some tendies.
Me too. I'm way more of a tendies girl because tendies have first of all, they're not, I like the texture of the chicken inside the tendy, like usually far more, but also they tend to be far crispier.
And see, with the Sprouts ones, the nuggets are crispier than
Yeah.
the meats. It's not the same meat.
It's not.
It's thinner. I like a thicker tender, and the tenders aren't thick. They're
The tenders
thin.
are just giant nuggets. They're
Yeah.
like giant flatter nuggets, which is not my favorite. The
No.
Applegate Farms ones, those ones.
Where when you pull it and the chicken shreds,
That's
what I want. And a nugget, I'm fine with the compounded meat, but in the tenders, I need like an actual
I need
shred
like
of meat.
mozzarella stick. I need it to be like that kind of level of shredding. I fully, wholeheartedly agree. So I'm glad we're on the same page, and I definitely am going to eat some later today.
As will I.
So
Maybe
so
I'll
good.
put it in a little bit of oil and have it.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of like Chinese food options too that are gluten free.
Yep, I get the pot stickers.
I got that and some egg rolls.
The rolls. I have to say, I think that I like the pot stickers. I like the outside of the egg rolls better. I like the inside of the pot stickers better. I'm wondering if have you had the egg rolls yet? There's a flavor in there that we both talked about, a certain cuisine that we would love to like, but we don't because there's like just something there. And I don't know if that's like the same kind of flavory thing that I get with the egg roll. It's not like, it doesn't avert me from it where I'm like, can't stomach it. But there's like something about that I also need to figure out maybe if I got a different filling, I would like them a little bit more, but they're very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I pan fried some of the pot stickers last night. Very good. Very, very good.
I'm too lazy. I air fry everything.
I was going to, but they don't taste the same. It's not the wrapper just is not the same if you don't actually pan fry it.
You're good at not cutting corners when it's actually the product is not going to be as good. For me, I will cut every corner. Yeah. It's not something I like about myself. It's not. I eat like you're the one who's constantly being like, heat your fucking food up.
Yes.
You're like, I can tell from your face like you're not enjoying this because it's cold. Like you are right. You're not wrong there.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome. You're rarely ever wrong, which is why we have our other
rarely.
podcasts.
Wow.
No, you're never wrong.
I watched Queen Charlotte.
I was just about to
ask
over
the course of 3 days. Better than Bridgerton. I will say.
Your favorite was the second season. So it is now the new ranking. Is this number one?
Yes, number one by far. And I'm not gonna say it's because Shonda wrote this one and didn't write the other ones. But let's just be honest here. It's so good. It's so freaking good. 10 out of 10. That's all my TikTok is now, is stuff from that. But like, great show. Very good show. They did an excellent job of casting the younger versions of the older characters. I was like, how did y'all find these people that look exactly like them?
Oh, let's see. Oh, Megan, you can't just type in Queen Charlotte into Google.
No, because the actual Queen Charlotte, since she was a real person, does come up.
My bad. Oh, and I love like a British TV show because I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these people? I'm excited to get to know them. Oh, does she play? Is this the younger version of the grandma?
She's not the grandma.
Oh no,
she's the queen.
Oh, in my mind literally is going to like the grandmas are the queens, and I'm like, no, Megan, that's literally not how it works. Everyone is different ages. The royal titles have nothing to do with that,
and they're not even like the Bridgerton people are not in her family at all.
Oh, okay, so it's not isn't there like an older woman in? I've never fucking watched the show. Why am I saying
so
this?
There's the Bridgerton family, and there is an older woman, the mother of those people. She is she's Lady Bridgerton, and then has, all her kids are the ones that we're following each different season. And then there's Lady Danbury, who is a Black woman who is like Well, we find out some things in the prequel that shocking, but the younger versions of them are in Queen Charlotte. So Lady Danbury is like 26 in Queen Charlotte. The mom in Bridgerton's like 16 in Queen Charlotte, and then the Queen is 17.
Okay. I was thinking of, I'm gonna pull it up so I can. Oh, do they put them all in the same season? They don't break it down like kind of like Ryan Murphy anthology stuff. So they don't break it down like each. Like Queen Charlotte has their own page on IMDb.
Yes, because
the other
Queen
one doesn't.
Charlotte is technically a prequel, so it's not the same. But the ones that like that they play, they're all in the same show together. So you should be able to still see both of them.
Okay.
So you should see like Queen Charlotte and young Queen Charlotte, Lady Danbury, young Lady Danbury, Bridgerton, Violet, young Violet.
The main girl from season 2.
She wouldn't be in that because she's not born yet, but she is also in Little Mermaid, which I saw.
Her street style, she's been popping up on my explore page on Instagram, and like some people doing like talking about like her fashion, and she's got great looks, really, really good sense style. You saw Little Mermaid?
I did. I had to see
it with the kids.
No, I didn't. I saw it on Thursday before I left. And I had to see it because we're covering it on Black Men Can't Jump, and I didn't need them to ruin it for me.
But, no, yeah, that's an experience you needed to have on your own.
Yes.
Did you love it?
I did love it. And I don't want to share more because I really want us to do like a compare contrast of it. But I loved it. Everything that I had issues with as an adult for the animated Little Mermaid, they fixed it in the live action one. So great.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very down to watch it. And I don't know.
I'm not going to tell Megan because it's going to be packed when I have to go. So even though I went at 2:00 on a Thursday, it was sold out.
Yeah, it's blowing up as it should be. I've liked all of the trailers and the previews I've seen, but I think it'll be interesting to do a compare and contrast because I've probably seen the original. There's no way I've seen it more than twice. Like I've probably, it wouldn't be rare to me that I've only seen it one time.
I've probably seen it about 20 times, but I don't remember a lot of it. But there are some things that I do remember, and I'm like, oh, they fixed this. That makes sense now. Yep.
Yeah.
They gave Prince Eric a backstory, and he's not just a himbo. Cool.
Disney does love to write a himbo. Constant himbo appreciation. Yeah. Have you heard of this thing? And I want to give a forewarning. I'm not always a very nice person, and I think people should like enjoy what they're going to enjoy. And I would never comment a hate comment on someone who's just like living their life and enjoying what they want to enjoy. But sometimes
I commented a hate comment this week. Now I'll tell you what it is. And
but
it was deserved.
This one would not have been deserved. It was just one of those things that like the fact that I've gone this many years on this planet and had no idea that this thing existed, and this was like a community of people who were like doing this thing, not harming anybody. It was just kind of like, whoa, we live very different lives. It's this thing called muzzing.
What's that? It sounds like you put your vagina next to somebody else's vagina and then just kind of nuzzle it.
It's the foreplay before scissoring. Let's see. Muzzing is called what? This not real dictionary says it's an intransitive verb to study intensely or grind. Okay, Urban Dictionary. This is it. Okay. Oh, it's a style of dance developed in the early 21st century from the European dance style tectonic. Movements include pointing of arms in different directions, bending the arms, swinging the arms while is straight and bent, and the circling of the hands around the head.
Oh, I actually think now when you say that, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this TikTok popped up and the girl was like, my muzzing journey. And I like very rarely have I never heard of something so much that like someone could go on an entire education journey and performance that I'm like, you literally spent years working on this thing, building your craft, presumably like learning from other people that like literally have never heard of this thing existing. And when she gets to her final form, when I tell you, Melissa, I walk into walls accidentally when I'm not moving that fast. The fact that she didn't smack herself in her face, and then I ended up on this side of TikTok of like how to muzz. And we've talked here before that my dream is to be able to twerk, and my body does not want to let me do it, and I want to do it so badly. If I thought there was any one other thing, I didn't think I could look more awkward and worse doing something than twerking. The picturing myself with my long gangly arms doing this, that's a hazard for the people around me.
I typed in, once you described what it is, I typed in muzzing under a bridge, and this one clip came up because it was very popular on Black Twitter like 10 years ago, where people would take these people that are muzzing under a bridge and then put it to like a hip hop song, and it was like fire. Everybody was hyping it up. It was pretty cool. So like this
Why
has been
under a bridge,
because that's where they were. That's just where they are in the video.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I know no, you're right. I'm realizing now a lot of the videos I saw, they were under bridges, but I just didn't realize. I didn't put it together. It's just, I'm going to send you the one that I saw. Because like, as I'm watching them do it, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, coordination. Like I'm thinking like raving dance. Like I'm thinking how it is. Yeah. But she gets to this point, Melissa, where it's like so fast. I was like, yeah, I've seen that. She gets to this point that like, I didn't even know you could get there, nor did I know that was attainable or the goal. And I'm like, have like neurologists look at this. I'm like, is your brain okay? Like, it's just like, you know, they talk about those things of like those little, like do a brain tease, like, you know, tap your thing, like all this shit. I'm like, you are going to be cognitively fucking eons ahead. Like the fact that you can do all that, like do that shit so fast.
There's a girl doing it in a pink Power Ranger outfit, so TikTok knew what they were doing.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't know it had I just thought it was just rave dancing, but I didn't know it had a name. But I knew exactly what it was. That definition described it perfectly.
No, totally. And like, I'm seeing people doing these, like how it started. And I'm like, cool, like looks like, you know, cheerleader-ish. And then they just get to this point where they're on like 15 times speed. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy shit, I cannot move that fast.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I love one of my favorite things about TikTok is like discovering something that is so fully formed that I had no idea it fucking existed. And usually in other instances, when you have those things, you're like, I don't want to know it exists. Like, I don't want to know that this is a thing. This I loved. I had a similar reaction to when I saw, there's a whole community of people building tiny apartment houses as bird feeder houses. And so they were building homes for their birds. And I was like,
I've seen that. Yep.
I love this shit. I'm so glad I get to hear about this. We've been watching New Girl again.
What number is this? Number 3?
We just like put it on constantly, like in between. I still haven't seen it. I probably have seen it all the way through. Now. Oh, this was gonna tell you. So we went to our nephew's Shabbat at school. Mm-hmm. We got to meet like his bestie at school. Oh my God, they're so obsessed with each other. It was the cutest thing I've literally ever seen. Melissa, I can only describe it as 2 drunk girls arriving for their friend's bachelorette, and they haven't seen each other in years.
But they literally see each other every day.
He walks into the classroom, and they both just scream and go, ah! And then they run to each other and hug. And then anytime they meet, like, their eyes, they just look at each other, and they scream, and then they burst out laughing. And I was like, put these little dudes on a fucking one of those drink carts in Nashville. Like, you're on a bachelorette party. It was like they were woo girls. Like, woo! It was so funny. And all of the teachers were like, they're obsessed with each other. Like, this is just how they are. And so then Mods and I hung out with that little kids, grown-ups who came for the family day. So we hung out with them because all of the kids were like, oh, so excited to have my family members here. They couldn't care less about us. So then we hung out with the other family.
Mhm.
It was like, they're just best buddies. So it was fun. And it's definitely where Mott's picked up his cough.
Yeah. I was going to say that, but I don't remember. Did I say something? I said it in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
he got this from the little germy children.
Well,
but
there was
then
one kid walking around with a neon green booger just hanging out of his nose. And I was like,
Megan, sometimes you say things that
I
you
know.
know that are going to disgust me, and you
I
just
don't-
go ahead and say them anyway.
because you have to get my brain works really, really fast, but it's doing a lot of things at the same time. And then my mouth is just like, keep going. And then it goes, maybe you should have held that one back. Maybe you should have refrained from that one. But it was a good time. And Mott's like turned to me after as we were leaving. He goes, that is a lot of work. And I was like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
this is why we don't have kids at this point in our lives. And he was like, yeah, that's like hella hard. Except he didn't say hella because I would have made fun of him. You
He's
know.
not from your area.
No, but you can say hella. There are like some people, like some people from
I can
Atlanta
see
who
him
say
saying
hella. But it's just a matter of like, you have to say it in a way that like I don't clock it. Like it just has to be in your vocabulary. And I don't have to know where you're from. Like, again, there's people from like Atlanta or
Well, he's lived there.
some other cities. Yeah. Yes. And it feels fine. But then some people say it and I'm like, what was that?
Speaking of Atlanta, have you heard any news?
I didn't audition for it, Melissa.
Why not?
Because kindly fuck off. You can't. Also saw this girl post, I think it was a TikTok of this girl like posting like the scene, the audition and like the final scene. And it was one like and she was like, I was
Don't
so
say
nervous.
his name.
Sorry. She was like, I mean, what I'm about to say, it's going to be like, well, obviously who we're talking about.
Yeah, it can be obvious, but
yeah,
just don't
you're right,
say
you're
it.
right. Cut that out.
Yes, I will, but I'm just saying.
No, so she said that she was like, I was like really nervous to do it because like we only got one take and like it's a really long scene. And everyone in the comments like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like that's the whole thing. And she's like, I was just so afraid I was going to mess it up. I was like, a legitimate fear for these productions and live plays. Like that's like,
Well, that's where their background is from. That's how they made all their money. You didn't know that? It was all plays first
where?
in Atlanta.
Wow.
And then he would go on tour in like areas that had like a big population of people that would enjoy that genre.
Many
I
of his
remember
stage
my
plays.
grandmother
Wow.
loved them. I was like, this is terrible, but she would sit and get copies, and they'd be terrible quality, but get copies of it, and we have to sit and watch it. And I was like, "Little mama, you won't let us watch certain things because they're just, of the devil. But this, because he talks about God, this is still devilish." Like.
No, as soon as I'm on their Wikipedia right now, and I just started seeing something. The play included Christian themes, and I go, "That's how you got." Because I was like, a lucrative play.
Very like that's
Hard.
that's yeah. But they were super popular.
A
But
religious experience.
That's
much
how
more
he got
lucrative.
all his money, and then moved into films.
Wow.
And he was also like living in his car. Like he didn't have any money.
I've like recently realized that like I'm not a hustler at all. Like I think like I would love, I've said this before, like universal basic income, like that would be like lovely. Like I am not someone who I want money solely for the fact that I need it. Like I'm not money driven like in that way. I'm also really bad with numbers and stuff. And so like I see people who are like, oh, doing this, and this. I'm like, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And the idea that you can grind out, so like work, do all of this shit is so impressive. And I just don't have that in me.
See, I'm a hustler, but I'm not a grinder. And this is how I differentiate the two. A grinder is somebody that will live without for a long time while they're hustling. So I have a basic form of lifestyle that I like to change. I like to have. So like I hustle, but I'm not grinding because I prefer certain things in life.
You know, I might be a grinder and not a hustler. Like, no, it's like legitimately, like and it's just because it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. They're both a lot of work, but when you have the two together.
No, one of them has a financial benefit, the other one doesn't. And like
I mean the other one does in the long term.
Long term. That's my issue.
But you
I'm
you have to be like a grinder that also hustles in order to have that long term, because you can grind and still like be at the same point that like you never expand, you know?
Melisa, I know. I know a little too well. Like,
but you're still maintaining a certain lifestyle though, you know?
No, I am. But when I could so easily give everything up. Like I was like, I could truly eat pasta for dinner like every like single day. But the idea, like to me, that is a far easier thing than being like, I'm gonna like figure out all of the different ways to make money. I'm like, I'm gonna build a dollhouse and live on pasta. Like, it's not like, yeah. It's okay. I'm gonna take some like financial classes.
You can't say that and then have a frame TV though.
That is, you're not wrong. I'm just saying that like it's the idea of like I see people who like make content all about like hustling. I definitely have money trauma too, but like people who like make all this like content about like, you know, I will demand what I'm worth, but it's mostly because like I only look at the big picture and I'm like, will this help me propel me forward? And like the amount of people who will just be like, oh, I'm just like doing this for like a quick $1. I'm like, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, Megan, do it. You should do it. You know? I'm going to get to that point. It's going to be, I'm going to become the next Logan Paul, everybody. Watch out.
And on that note, we're going to end. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for listening to See You Next Tuesday. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go Network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Wants, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
In Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.